Hello friends, today we are going to discuss different kinds of copying mechanisms which Java implements. I'll just demonstrate a very small program which helps us to understand how Java implements a copying mechanism. I will use Eclipse platform for this. I'm, I'm creating a new class. I'm putting a cloning D, which is cloning demo, and then I'm taking main method. So this is my class with a method. In Java, usually we have three types of cloning mechanisms, and those three types are nothing but shallow copying. The second one is deep copying, and then we have cloning. So first I'll demonstrate shallow copying and then deep copying, and then we'll go to cloning. One by one I'll be demonstrating them. I'll create a class named object and then two instances. For printing the total object, I'm overriding the toString method which is present in the object class. This is my object which I'm going to print in the main method. So now as we are demonstrating shallow copying, in shallow copying let me create an object named O1 using new, and then I'm initializing these instances. So in shallow copying you just copy, if you create another object, for example O2, then you will just copy it by just assigning it to the first object O1, and then we're going to print these two objects O1 and O2. Now we're going to run this program. Okay. So here we got the output as I equal to 2 and j equal to 2, which are object 1. And then as we copied O1 into O2, we got I and j as 2 and 3. But where does the problem come in shallow copying? When you change the value of O2, when you change the value of the instance variable of O2, that is if you assign O2.j equal to, for example, some 5, and then if you run it, here comes the problem. That is, the value of object O1 is also changed. That is, here the object value of 3 is changed to 5, which is a tough task because you can't just copying means you just have the same values, and then if you wanted to modify the copied content, then it should not modify the original content, and if it does, then it is nothing but a bad copying technique. So to overcome this kind of problem, we have a different another kind of method to copy an object, and that is nothing but a deep copying. So in deep copying, we just don't assign values like this. We will create another object using new operator, and then we'll simply assign the values of O1 to O2. O2 dot j is equal to O1 dot j, and then we're going to print the values here. We're going to run it. So here we got the values of I and j as we have copied the values of O1 to O2. And now what happens if we change the value of O2? So for example, I kept O2 dot j is equal to some phi. Let's run this program now and see what happens. Yeah, here it's everything is fine here because the value of O1 are contained here and as well as O2, so everything is proper and correct. But this is accurate and very comfortable only if there are one or two objects. What if there are hundreds and thousands of objects to be copied? Then it becomes a very tedious task to just go on copying each and every instance variable and then modifying it. That is the reason why Java has given us a different kind of method called clone off. By using this method, we can copy the value of one object to another and then modify it. So this kind of copying is nothing but a cloning type of copying. So now we're going to discuss the cloning copying. The code of copying one object to another is already written in clone of method, which is present in the object class. So we don't need to write an entire different code to the method. We just need to overwrite it. So I'm overriding the clone of method in this class. Public object clone of. So I'm returning super.cloneof. Since the clone of method is present in the object class, which is the which is the first method in the hierarchy of classes, I'm using the keyword super.cloneof. So yeah, I have overwritten it, and then in main class, here I just need to use object, since that is the name of the class. I'm using object o1.cloneof. So this helps in copying the objects of O1 into O2. And then everything is fine. We don't need these statements. So let us run and see this program, what is the result it's going to display. Okay. Errors exist in the project. No. Okay. The thing is, if you proceed with this program shows clone not supported exception. So why is this clone not supported exception is thrown? Here, the method clone of needs a certain kind of, actually cloning is a very restrictive kind of phenomena. Every person cannot clone and should not clone as well. So to make sure that the clone of method is being used by the correct person, Java has handled it with an exception. So if you do not want an exception, and if you wanted the copying mechanism to be proper and accurate, you need to use an interface, and this interface is nothing but clonable interface. So you need to implement clonable interface. This clonable interface is nothing but a kind of markable interface. That is, it gives permission to the clone of method which is present in the object class to copy it. It makes sure that the copying is, is permissible for the user, so that not each and every programmer knows that it throws an exception, or not each and every programmer knows that he has to implement a clonable interface, which is very correct, because you just can't give this clonable access to each and every person out there. So implements clonable has to be used so that it gives permission to the clone of method, which throws a clone not support exception. So here I'm just using throws class so that the exception will be handled by default handler. So it is thrown here, and then this thrown exception will be again thrown by our main method out of main. Yeah, now let us execute the program and see what happens. Okay, now the object is copied, everything is fine. You just need to use only a single line of code to copy one object to another. And let us modify the instance variable of o2. Let us put o2.j equal to 5 and then run it. So yeah, when I modify the values of the instance variable of second object, then only those values are modified here, and then the first values which are being copied are preserved. So here in this phenomena, everything is perfect and everything is accurate and correct. But actually the thing is, people say that using the clonable interface is not a correct phenomena, because clonable interface, you usually must have an interface which is a fairly in a complex code. You should have a very fairly complex code, and when you see the clonable interface, this clonable interface consists of nothing, and it's just a null interface, so which makes the programmer confused more and more about this interface. So it doesn't satisfy the property of interface, which has to be fairly complex and unenforceable, and has to be largely undocumented protocol, and this doesn't follow any of these techniques, and that's the reason why this is not widely used. But this is also one of the most better method to copy an object and then modify them instantly. So hope you enjoyed and understood what I've taught, and I'll be seeing you soon with other discussions on Java. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos.